The jackets are out. It's cool. It's Derek Lowe on the mound for the Boston Red Sox. In the lineup for the New York Yankees, brought to you by State Farm. They lead it off with Soriano. Then it's Jeter batting second. Giambi is the DH. Williams, Posada, and Matsui in the middle. Johnson, Boone, and Garcia, a late addition to the lineup. He's been bothered by that injured left hand. He injured in the ninth inning on Saturday with that brawl in the bullpen. He's okay to play. And here's the right-handed starter, happy to be working at home, Derek Lowe.
No other pitcher in the major leagues is more aptly named.
Fly ball into right field. One pitch. Trot Nixon says 1 out.
In order to get ground balls, you have to keep the ball low. Dominant at home, 11-2. You heard Kevin Kennedy talk about the slope of the mound. I think that has something to do with it for the 6'6" right-hander. One sinker after another, and his strikeout pitch, as he showed the Oakland A's, the tailing fastball inside the left-handers.
The slope of the mound and his French vanilla iced coffee and roll from Dunkin' Donuts near his house just south of Boston.
Good pop for Dunkin' Donuts.
Hey, what the heck? That's what he likes to grab on his way into the park. Here's Derek Jeter with 1 out. And there's a strike in at the knees. Jeter so far is 5 for 17 in this ALCS. 11 hits overall in the postseason after coming in third in the AL batting race at 324. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giambi next. Last night a 3-2 victory for the Red Sox, and they've evened this best-of-7 series at 2 games apiece. Backing up on it is Miller. With 2 down, we look at the defense for the Boston Red Sox. So far, we've had a total of 2 errors in this entire series. And it is Todd Walker getting the start at second base. Typically, and even in this series, game 2, it was Damian Jackson because of his defensive work behind the sinker ball pitching of Derek Lowe. But with Walker being as hot as he is, he's got the 5 home runs this postseason. His bat is in there. And he is playing Giambi to pull along with the rest of New England as a pitch is on the inside corner, strike 1.
Giambi shift.
One ball, 1 strike.
Thing about Giambi, he will hit fly balls the other way. In fact, he's got power to left field, and Johnny Damon, the center fielder, shading Giambi toward left center field.
A little clunker down the right side, picked up by Lowe. A 1-2-3 first. Wells is on the mound for the New York Yankees. First start of this series, and the lineup brought to you by State Farm for the Red Sox. It's Damon, Walker, and Garciaparra at the top. Ramirez, David Ortiz, and Kevin Millar, the middle 3, with Miller, Nixon, and Varitek, the back end of a lineup that led the American League in hitting during the regular season, and so far is hitting only .235 in the postseason. And here is the lefty, David Wells. No doubt a big game pitcher, 9-2 in his career in the postseason.
And a guy, if you're a first ball hitter, continue to be a first ball hitter because he's always around the plate. Only 20 walks all season. 20.
Does not like pitching at Fenway Park as he misses with ball 1. He's 10-10 in his career. But when asked, he said if they ever want to get rid of this place, let me push the button. He just does not like pitching on this mound, as opposed to Lowe. That's slapped foul. In fact, the Red Sox pounded on David Wells earlier this season. It came in July. He allowed 5 home runs to this Boston lineup. And his career here at Fenway Park, an ERA over 5 in 22 starts. Here's a 1-1.
With that green monster out there, there aren't too many left-handers that the Red Sox have ever signed. The 2 most prominent that come to mind over the last 60 years, Mel Parnell, Bill Lee.
late swing, 2-2.
By the way, Mel Parnell is watching our telecast today in New Orleans and doing fine.
The outfield for Damon straight away. Breeze is blowing through the ballpark. 59 degrees at the start of the day. Shattered bat. Wells gets out of the way, and Soriano takes care of Damon. The agile David Wells, who, by the way, there's been a lot written about a pulled groin that he suffered on Saturday, getting out of the dugout in the benches clearing incident. He says it is absolutely not even a consideration. And by the way, don't be fooled by the size of David Wells. He is a very good athlete. With one out, here's Todd Walker. Ball one. Walker homered here last night, one of two hit against Messina, who was a loser for the third time in the postseason this year. Another broken bat, 2 out. With the bases empty and Garciaparra coming up, and this crowd will try to get behind their hitting star. You look at the defense. 3 of the 8 double plays turned in this series on strike him out, throw him out double plays. Matsui, Williams, and Garcia in the outfield. And this crowd kind of thought they might do this. Quite a few here at Fenway Park to their feet, trying to get Nomar Garciaparra going with a bat. Really having a tough time. Ball one. Regular season. Hitting .216 for this postseason with no RBIs. 2 out. Nomar takes ball 2.
There's not too many people, though, on either side really doing much with the bat. I think it's been a pitcher series.
Both starting pitchers and bullpen for both sides. 3-0.
That's what left-handed pitchers try to do with right-handed power hitters. They try to keep the ball away. One thing Wells can do is run the ball in on right-handed batters, but not when he's behind in the count. He'll go away again.
That'll bring Manny Ramirez to the plate. Wells a winner last Sunday at Minnesota, Game 4 of the division series, when the Yankees wrapped it up with a victory over the Twins. Against Boston in his career, 14-20 with an ERA of just under 5. Ramirez. Strike one.
To give you an idea of how rare that walk was, David Wells walked 1 in April, 2 in May, and 1 in June. Runs fastballs into right-handers. Danger. This is Fenway Park, and for a left-handed pitcher with a right-hander with power, dangerous.
Wind actually blowing out to left a bit here today as Ramirez is jammed, and that's what Joe Torre wanted to see. That pitch boring in on the right-handed hitter's hands, and that's what he did to Ramirez. After 1 here at Fenway, Game 5, nothing. That's Boston right there. No score after 1, and Derek Lowe goes back to work and misses outside with ball 1 to Bernie Williams, who jogged up to the plate only to wait for television to get out of a commercial. First pitch missing up and away for ball 1. Williams, Posada, and Matsui, the hitters against Derek Lowe. And a little clunker. Millar with a tag for the out, which leads us to today's Sprint Virtual Manager question. Very simple. Will Tim Wakefield pitch again in this series? A, yes. B, no. To answer the question, use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com. Keyword MLB on Fox. I'm going to go even one better as I type in. I'm going to re-ask the question. I can't really do that.
Right, you have to qualify it. Is this game going 6 or 7? Is this series going 6 or 7 games?
On top of that, you know, when you talk to Grady Little, he says Wakefield is not available today. But you could make a strong argument that if the Red Sox don't win this game, as Posada's booed as he steps in, you could certainly make a case for Pedro Martinez to pitch on short rest and then give Wakefield another start in Game 7 to give yourself the best chance to win.
Absolutely, but Grady Little telling us in our managers meeting before the game that he will stick with Burkett tomorrow night, win or lose today.
But Wakefield will be hanging around to be kind of starter 1A if Burkett is not sharp early. A 1-1. Posada takes in the dirt. 2-1.
I think Pedro will have something to say about that too. If Pedro goes to Grady Little and says, I want to pitch tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, obviously he'll get the ball.
2 balls and a strike with 1 out, nobody on.
Everything is subject to change.
Yes.
And even if a manager tells you, there's no reason why he has to be totally honest with us about.
I think he's going to be honest with you, but things change.
You can always fall back on things change. 3-1 pitch. A 1-out walk puts Posada aboard and brings in Matsui. Hideki Matsui walks in.
The left fielder.
There are his numbers in this ALCS.
I've been impressed with Matsui playing defense. I haven't got to see him play that much, but he's, you know, and as far as the Japanese players that I've seen, one thing they do is they play it right, and their fundamentals are very sound. But I've been watching him, and he's pretty darn good out there.
Well, your teammate is the second soundest right fielder I've ever seen. Ichiro is second to Roberto Clemente in my view.
With 1 on 1 out, Matsui takes strike 1.
Yeah, they talk about his arm all the time. It's not his arm so much. It's his getting in position to get rid of the ball. He catches and throws the ball as fundamentally sound as you can, and I think that makes his arm even better than it really is.
Last night, Matsui not only deked Kevin Millar going around second on that play off the wall, but he deked his manager Joe Torre, who was excited at the prospect of a fly ball being caught and left off the bat of Nixon, only to see it hit high off the wall. Millar was held at third, and he scored when Veritek beat out what could have been a double play ball hit to short.
Hit and run situation right here with Matsui. 223 ground ball outs, led the American League this year. He hit into 25 double plays. Lowe's a ground ball pitcher. It's an ideal situation to send Posada.
He's going. Matsui chops one to the left side, and the out at first, 2 away.
Well, Lowe has got that sinker working this afternoon. You think of Giambi and Williams just pounding that ball into that soft dirt around home plate.
It looks a little softer today.
It looks a lot softer, and I don't blame the Boston grounds crew for keeping it soft for a ground ball pitcher like Lowe, because Wells is a fly ball
like a
pitcher.
Sandbox.
Yeah, like you could play in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bucket and a shovel.
Pail and shuffle. Sure.
Just more cheating.
With a runner at second, 2 out. Ball 1 to Nick Johnson, who homered off Lowe in game 2.
More of an advantage to those pitchers that you just love, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we make the mound higher? Maybe bring it in 56 feet.
Oh yeah. Let's not help the pitchers out at all. Let's tilt it all one way. A 1-0 pitch in the dirt.
Don't even get me going with that. You got about an hour?
I do, and I got a pretty good argument.
What? Okay. All right. I want to hear your argument.
Smaller ballpark, smaller strike zone.
It's not smaller.
Harder ball.
I've had this conversation.
Maybe not where you play. 2-0 pitch.
The ballparks are not smaller. You look at in the last 25 years, if you look at both leagues, the new stadiums versus the old. I had this conversation the other day. I think the balls were softer this year. How about that?
Here comes ball 4, the intentional pass to get to Aaron Boone. So Nick Johnson, with only 4 hits this postseason, is passed, and that brings Grady Little out of the dugout. And Aaron Boone, who's 3 out of 24 in October, will walk to the plate.
This is an odd meeting only because Grady Little is out there. Normally, the pitching coach Dave Wallace would be out there if there were a fundamental change. You rarely see Grady Little that talkative to his pitchers. Dave Wallace sits on the bench.
So with 2 on 2 out, Boone is at the plate looking for his first hit of this ALCS.
The only thing I can think of, he might have seen something. Derek might have motioned to him. He might have motioned to him and didn't know he did. Came out.
Interesting meeting, and now Boone with an RBI chance to put the Yankees on top here in the game 5 in the 2nd inning, and that's a strike on a good pitch at the far reaches of the strike zone. Down and away, 0-1. Yankees looking for their first hit. Boone set up at 0-2. Kareem Garcia, the number 9 hitter, on deck. And right now, all eyes here at Fenway on Lowe and Aaron Boone. To third, Miller. Tough play. A juggle, and the bases are loaded. Should be the first hit of this series for Aaron Boone to load the bases, and now Kareem Garcia steps to the plate, being booed as he digs his way in.
Of course, a booze for Garcia, and that ball with Bill Miller, that ball had so much topspin on it. That's I guess the downside of that sinker. When you do hit it on the good part of the bat, it can do things like that.
It's a base hit. Ruled a base hit to load the bases. And here is Garcia. And that's strike 1. Garcia was not originally in the lineup. When we first got here, it was David DeLucci. And Joe Torre wanted to make sure that Garcia was okay with that left hand, which he injured in that fight in the 9th inning of game 3. And evidently he checked out well enough to be in the lineup. And DeLucci sits. One ball, one strike. Garcia 1 hit in this ALCS and postseason. Two and 1. Two walks, an infield hit, and a scoring chance for the Yankees here in game 5. Up the middle, base hit. Posada scores. Here comes Johnson. 2-0 New York. Kareem Garcia, added right before this contest started to the lineup, delivers with a 2-out RBI hit up the middle.
On an even count, or when you're behind the pitcher, You think the fastball is coming. When you're ahead of the pitcher, you know it's coming. And you can lock in, and Garcia did that. Right back through the box, scores 2 for the Yankees, and they take an early lead.
Now it's Soriano. And a ground ball base hit to the right side. Here comes Boone. He'll score without a play. Throw is over to third. Garcia's safe. And it's 3-0 New York. Soriano gets his first RBI of this ALCS. And the Yankees with 3 2-out runs.
I think you see the guys that have the successful at bats against Lowe. They keep the ball in the middle of the field. Try to hit the ball through the middle of the field, and when you get them, you get a lot of rollovers, ground balls to the pull side of the infield, you're playing right into his hands, and those were 2 great at bats right there.
Well, it's an interesting inning. At one time, you had a man on second, and Nick Johnson, the batter, and Grady Little electing to walk him, and then the infield hit by Aaron Boone, his first hit in the league championship series, opened the way to 3 runs at least for the Yankees.
Now Jeter trying to tack on more. Derek bounced out to third his first time up. 8th man to bat in the inning for New York. And a wide throw with Garcia coming down the line about a third of the way from third as that nearly got away from Millar.
That's very alert. If this ball gets away from Millar 5-10 feet, Garcia is going to score.
Jeter. Veritek happy to just catch that pitch. Ball 1. Crowd is taken out of it by the Yankees here in the second. To the second baseman Walker, and that will do it for New York in the second, but not before. 3 2-out run score on RBI hits by Garcia and Soriano. Bottom of the second, Ortiz, Millar, Miller coming up for the Red Sox, who trail by 3. Bottom of the second, Ortiz first up with Millar and Miller to follow. 3-0 New York. Yankees finally getting a hit with runners in scoring position. They struggled with that last night. In fact, came into this game 5 hitting only 192 as a group in this ALCS. As Ortiz, who took David Wells deep twice in that 5-homer game by the Red Sox against Wells in July at Yankee Stadium, waits for an 0-1. And he gets into one to right. Back is Garcia for out number 1.
Well, that ball hit on the good part of the bat, but not so the first inning by the Red Sox. 1 bat broken. 2 bats broken. And Manny Ramirez jammed.
From the mega slow-mo, look at this wood just kind of ripple as the ball comes in from Wells. Broken bat by Walker, and here's Millar. He takes strike 1.
Pantar left shoulder. You see that often on the left shoulder of a right-handed hitter, right shoulder of a left-handed hitter. Pantar, where they take the full swing, and that Pantar sticks on those white unis.
He's got it on both sides.
Yeah, he does. Most of the time, switch hitters have it on both sides.
He's cowboying up.
Well, there you have it. 0-2 pitch. Ball 1. After Millar, it's Miller. Red Sox down by 3. To the left side for Boone. Gets an easy hop. 2 out. And with the bases empty, Miller coming up. We go upstairs, and the best view of today's game is from the Hood Lightship. Hood Dairy will donate $300 to children's hospitals throughout New England for every home run, double play, and strikeout made by the Red Sox at Fenway in this ALCS. Windy day, and as we mentioned, in the 50s at the start. Some rain up in this area, and forecast for the ride that some people will take from Boston to New York after this game. Now tomorrow, so you know, it's either an afternoon game if the Cubs don't wrap up their series tonight, game 6 behind Pryor. If they do win tonight, tomorrow's game is a night game between the Red Sox and the Yankees. That'll be our game 6. But if the Cubs series continues, the Red Sox and Yankees will happen in the late afternoon. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Miller. Line drive caught by Soriano to his left. Nice jump on that ball and a lunge for the catch. We go to the 3rd inning here at Fenway Park. Giambi, Williams, Posada coming up. Yankees bat up by 3.
The season premiere.
Giambi rolled one for an out his first time up. Takes that pitch that jumps back over the heart of the plate from Derek Lowe for strike 1. Hitting only a .143 in this ALCS. Takes a ball. Giambi, then Williams, then Posada. What a difference from the first 4 games for the Yankees. The Yankees 7 of 31 with runners in scoring position the first 4 games. Today 3 out of 4. As the count goes to 2-1. Joe Torre talking about a patience that these Yankee hitters have to bring with them to the plate against the sinker balling right-hander Lowe. 2-2.
The patience is making him bring the ball up. That fundamental approach of trying to go back through the box by pulling off the ball. Actually, what you do is you take the fat part of the bat, the part of the bat where you want to hit the ball on, you take it with you.
Giambi strikes out, and that's the first of the day for Lowe.
Well, when you do that, the head of the bat's in the zone for a very short time. You know, you're in and then you're out.
First slider that Lowe has thrown today.
With 1 out, Bernie Williams stands in. He grounded out to first in the 2nd before a walk to Posada. Matsui grounded out on a hit and run. And with a runner at 2nd, 2 out after falling behind Nick Johnson, the Red Sox elected to put him on. Boone got an infield hit. Garcia got a 2-out, 2-run single, and that was followed by an RBI hit by Soriano. Two quick strikes on Bernie Williams.
What we were talking about right there. Bernie Williams with that open stance, but a closed shoulder. If there's one trait, the dominant trait that all hitting instructors will tell you, it's to keep the front shoulder closed. It sounds fundamental, but that's the cause of most slumps.
Williams didn't go, says third base umpire Terry Kraft.
That's a good point there with an open stance.
Tough to have the feet open and the front shoulder closed. That's a difficult thing to do.
But a lot of guys do it, and it just goes to show you it doesn't matter where you set your feet in the box. As long as your upper half is where it needs to be, you can put your feet anywhere you want.
Walker. 2 down, and with Posada coming up, we check in with Chris Myers.
Yeah, Joe, this series, of course, one of the hottest tickets in sports. Over 400 seats were sold in that center field area as a night game originally because of Sunday's rainout. This, of course, an afternoon start. So during the day games, that area of seating covered because it's in the eye line of the batter, their view. So what happened to those people? Well, they're all around in right field, left field, standing behind you and Tim and Brett. And when the sun sets and this becomes a night game, then the fans will be able to go back to those seats. They were given an option of getting a refund, but nobody wanted to miss this. This is the place to be.
Chris, thanks. I was wondering who those people were behind us.
Now, that was not always the case. Back in the 60s, when they played day game World Series, there were people in white shirts that said where those black tarps are right now.
First pitch, a ball to Posada with 2 out, bases empty. 1 ball, 1 strike. I met that guy outside the stadium 2 nights ago.
That's the same guy that visits you every April 15th, right?
Yeah. I think that's Love 22. I think that's strike 2. Whatever it takes to get on camera and make your presence felt here at Fenway Park. And this crowd tries to do that. Subdued after a 3-run second by the Yankees. Garciaparra. 1-2-3 inning for Derek Lowe. The Yankees have 3, the Red Sox none. Bottom 2 in the order coming up for Boston. Trot Nixon will lead it off for the Red Sox. David Wells back to the hill, is not allowed to hit. Walked Garciaparra in the first inning, got away with it. David Wells seems to thrive with extra rest. Joe Torre wanting to keep Messina on his regular turn. That hit Nixon, almost leaned into it, and then boy, Wells is hot. He is hot. Great idea by Nixon. He just let it glance off his arm, and Wells immediately started screaming and spun around.
I think a guy who is saying that he's trying to get away by turning his back to the pitcher is within the rights of getting out of the way of the pitch. As a matter of fact, that's the way to get out of the way of the pitch. I think Wells upset it himself that that hanging curveball hit Nixon.
I think he's upset that Nixon did nothing to get out of the way of it and let it clip off his shoulder. And the leadoff man is on, and Varitek is at the plate.
I don't think he's standing on firm ground there.
Varitek grounds a base hit to left, and 2 are on for the Red Sox here in the 3rd. First thing Wells said when that ball hit Nixon was, "You've got to be kidding me." And he just said it to himself again after the hit by Varitek.
Once again, there are a lot of guys. I mean, you don't have to go down. You don't have to dive out of the way to get out of the way of the ball. I mean, if you turn your back to the ball, you're making a legitimate attempt to get out of the way of the ball. On a curveball, it's not going that fast. I mean, that's how a lot of guys try to get out of the way of the ball.
Johnny Damon now, and the Red Sox haven't done a lot of this. That small ball approach, showing bunt and taking a ball. Tough for the base runner at second base, and in this case, that's Trot Nixon. Swing, and it's fouled.
That was a good play by Nixon. I think he did that on his own. Faked the bunt, drew the infield in, and then swung the bat. Johnson still in at first base. Aaron Boone in at third. And the infield shortened up, as if they do get a ground ball to the middle infielders, they want to double Damon up. You're not going to double him if you're back.
David Wells is throwing hard here this afternoon. It's 2-1 now on Johnny Damon.
I would say now if he was going to lay down a bunt, it's going to be more of a bunt for a base hit versus a sacrifice.
And has shown no signs of it since either being told to or doing it on his own on that first pitch.
Early in the game, I'm sure it was something he did on his own.
Laid Late swing, 2-2.
Johnny going after ball 3 right there. Big difference, 3 balls and 1 strike and 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nixon and Varitek the runners. Just inside, full count.
I don't think you send the runners here. You're trailing by 3. You strike them out, throw them out. Something the Red Sox have done 3 times. I don't think the percentages are with you. Tough to double up Johnny Damon anyway.
To the right side, and a nice pick by Johnson for the out. The runners advance to second and third.
And the runners were not running. The one thing you do by not sending the runners, you don't make the hitter feel compelled to swing at a ball slightly out of the strike zone. By sending the runners, it seems like it's more urgent, and that's a chance you can't take when you're trailing by 3 runs.
The only advantage of moving the runners is you're going to get that third baseman out of position. It's going to open that hole up on the left side.
Todd Walker now with second and third, 1 out. Walker has been the Red Sox big power man with 5 home runs, 6 RBIs in the postseason. Ball 1. Infield is back with the exception of Boone over at third. So if it's hit anywhere but at Aaron Boone, the Yankees will give up the run for the out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garciaparra waits to hit next. Little flare. That's trouble. Caught by Matsui, and Hideki Matsui has played left field so well in this series here at Fenway. 2 out. The runners can't move up, and it's up to Garciaparra.
That's a play that arguably would have been made in few ballparks in the major leagues, but when you're positioned in front of the monster, you're shallow anyway. How many times have we seen balls about that depth and about that height hit that have dropped in there?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think any other ballpark that ball falls in. And now Garciaparra. Second and third, 2 out. Red Sox need a big hit from their shortstop. No RBIs this postseason. See the streak without an RBI for Garciaparra. 9 games. The 1-1. Off his hand, strike 2.
That riding fastball in on the hands that Joe Torre talked about in our meeting today. David Wells has been doing that the last couple of years. You can see Posada move inside and Wells hits the mitt.
Just inside, 2-2.
Last 2 have been inside, and you can see, as Garciaparra did last night, that's a great shot from that super slow-mo camera. pulling the hands in and totally overmatched.
I think David's proven too. He's not, you think of the monster and it's short out there in left field, but that's not going to change how he pitches. He's still not afraid to come inside because he knows when he's coming in there, he can put it where he wants.
3-2 on Garciaparra. Looking to deliver for the Red Sox. Cannot. Garciaparra's frustration continues. He leaves 2 runners on. And this game goes to the 4th. Still 3-0 New York. 3-0. The Yankees on top. And if you don't think Nomar Garciaparra is feeling it and is frustrated during the warm-ups before this half inning, he threw 2 balls into the seats. Just the routine. Millar flipping it over to the shortstop and around the infield for guys to get loose. He threw 2 into the seats prior to the start of this 4th inning. First pitch, a strike to Matsui. And now one for Walker to his right. Tough play. Wide throw, safe. Millar could not get the glove on the back of Matsui. And the leadoff man is on.
That was a great call by Angel. I think he did miss him from this angle. We'll see the replay.
Looked like he clearly missed him, and Hernandez had it. And we'll see if it's a hit or an error. They're waiting to get another look at it.
One of the toughest things athletically is to go one way and then to throw it back across your body.
That was a great play. You can't get that. Can't be an error. That's got to be a hit. It's got to be. It's not even a question.
Well, guess what? E4.
We're 0 for 3 in this.
We're 0 for the series, Timmy.
I know.
Matsui at first, nobody out, runners going. And Johnson grounds to Millar. Down to second is Matsui, 1 out. With the runner at second and 1 out, Aaron Boone will step to the plate. Tonight, baseball's postseason continues at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox. Game 6 of the NLCS. The Marlins trying to avoid elimination and force a winner-take-all Game 7. While the Cubs send Mark Prior to the mound, they try to win their first NL pennant in 58 years. Sports' biggest month of the year continues tonight right here on Fox. And then depending on what happens in that game, we'll either be at you tomorrow afternoon or at 8 Eastern. Boone grounds to third. Miller backs up. Makes the long throw, saved by Millar, and it's 2 on with 1 out.
That certainly should be an error. That is similar to the ball that was hit by Aaron the first time up. The first time it went off the shoulder of Bill Miller, and this time a throw into the runner, and Boone beats it.
Anybody want to say 0 for 4?
Timmy, I wouldn't say
he's going to give him a hit on that.
That's a hit.
Oh, come on.
We'll just let Joe talk.
Hey, I know. Not a clue. In my view, that's got to be an error. The other one's got to be a hit. So we're 0 for 4. Hang with it, pal.
Kareem Garcia now booed as he steps in with 2 on.
I didn't say anything. You're lumping me in with you now.
Yes, I am.
Boy, Kareem Garcia is right on top of the plate as he waits for the first pitch from Lowe. In fact, I don't remember seeing him this much on top of the plate in his other at-bats.
That's really what you want to do against a sinker ball pitcher, up to 2 strikes, because Lowe doesn't really have the power to get inside. All sinker ball pitchers try to pitch you away with the sinker. So you take the outside part of the plate away from him. At least that's what Garcia is trying to do. Now they're coming in. Nope.
The opposite way for Manny Ramirez. 2 out. The runners hold at first and second. Just going to say, though, if you're a left-handed batter, ask Adam Melhuse of the Oakland A's if he can start a ball at you and have it jump back into the strike zone.
Yeah. And Terrence Long, who made the last out in Game 5. There's a big difference between a sinker and a Taylor. A Taylor stays on the same plane. That's the 2-strike fastball. And obviously a sinker goes down.
2 on, 2 out for Soriano.
I can't concentrate, Timmy. I'm just thinking about, with you lumping me in, how next year, how clean every hit I get in Boston's going to have to be.
That's right.
There better not be any questions. Error.
Soriano with a 2-out RBI hit, his first RBI of this ALCS back in that 3-run second. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's one thing you can do when you're a retired player, talking to a player that is active.
The pressure just mounts.
With 2 on and 2 out, a 1-1 pitch to Soriano. That is ripped with foul. Strike 2. The Red Sox in the bottom of this 4th will have Ramirez, Ortiz, and Millar. I would say Veritek unofficially leads the world in visits to the mound.
I think too many with runners on at second base. I think Jason worries a little bit too much about the runner at second base picking up location. That's why he's constantly bouncing from inside to outside behind the plate. But what a job he has done for the Red Sox this year. He's a guy, if you're a manager, you take on your team in a second.
So lead runner Matsui. And that's Soriano striking out. Second strikeout of the day for Derek Lowe. Red Sox looking for some offense with a 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up in the 4th of Game 5, 3-0 New York. Manny Ramirez first up against Wells, and he hits one into left field. Is it off it or over it? It's 3-1. The only question was, would there be a new dent in the Green Monster after that ball left home plate? 5th career off Wells, 16th in the postseason for a guy that used to star with the Indians, and that didn't take long.
He led all American League hitters against left-handed pitching, batting .385 against lefties. Just showed you why.
Once again, though, last night, Mussina gave up 2 home runs, both solo shots today. 1 solo shot.
Last inning, the Red Sox put their first 2 on. Couldn't do anything with it. Now they're on the board as that's a strike. It's 2-1 on David Ortiz.
Losada sitting outside. Oh, man. That ball's low. Ball's not a strike.
Crowd didn't think so. Ortiz is jammed and he gets a base hit.
Manny Ramirez from Washington Heights. His father is a livery cab driver. His mom a seamstress. He signed for a bonus of $250,000. Peanuts these days.
He is a hitting machine.
He really is.
Kevin Millar now tying run at the plate. Man on first. Nobody out. Ball 1. Millar only 1 RBI this postseason. Has not gone deep. Hit 25 during the regular season, drove in 96.
Coming inside.
And missing 2-0.
the one thing you don't want to do to these Boston right-handers is come inside when you're behind in the count. That's what hitters look for. They look for a pitch to jerk with the count 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1.
I think a lot depends on the hitter, but you're right for the most part. Yeah, I think someone like Manny isn't really looking to jerk because he knows he can go out anywhere in the park.
2-0. Inside part of the plate, 2-1.
A guy like Millar, his damage from the home run standpoint is to left field, and yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with a guy like him with a fastball inner half of the plate.
He just got away with one. Then it's 2-1.
Back in there.
And another strike. It's 2-2.
Posada sets up inside, and the fastball slices the corner.
So Millar continues to scuffle. And with 2 out, nobody on, the batter will be Miller.
4 fastballs, 2 of which were inside, and then the curveball on the outside corner. You saw that swing by Millar, off balance. That's what that inside fastball will do to a hitter when he's trying to go after that curveball away. He still had that inside heater in mind.
Bill Miller with the bases empty takes the ball.
I still think you're going to see Wells coming inside of this guy. And you know, Timmy, as a catcher, you don't get hurt on pitches on the corner. Home runs don't usually happen on a corner. Home runs happen when you try to come in and you leave it fat out over the plate. That's where the home runs come from.
1 ball, 1 strike.
When you're trying to come in to major league hitters, if you miss, you have to miss inside. And as Brett said, not out over the plate. Hitters are trained to hit those balls hard, and they usually do.
Miller now in the hole 1 and 2. If you think about it in terms of a countdown clock, the Boston Red Sox, who now trail by 2, have 3 1/3 innings before they potentially could see Mariano Rivera come into this game. He is available for 2 innings here this afternoon. A 1-2 pitch to Miller. 2-2. A home run by Manny Ramirez, a base hit by Ortiz. Millar had the count 2-0 in his favor, ended up bouncing into a double play, and now it's Miller. Full count with Trot Nixon next. Miller strikes out, and the inning is over. Manny Ramirez hits a home run. Mega slow-mo used to be a way to describe his break out of the box after a home run. This time we just use it to show the swing. 3-1 back after this from your local Fox station. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for New York here in the 5th inning. Yankees up by 2, 3-1. Jeter 0 for 2 stands in. Jeter's grounded out twice. The RBIs today for New York coming from Kareem Garcia and Soriano, who got his first of this series. Manny Ramirez a home run last half inning, and now a 1-0 pitch. A jam shot to Millar. 1 out. John Burkett, tomorrow's starter for the Red Sox, wearing a microphone, had this to say about the importance of this game.
So we get on that plane, and then when we get on the plane, tomorrow's the biggest game of the year. I haven't taught you anything this year. The game we're playing right now is the biggest game of the year. Tomorrow's gonna be the biggest game of the year once we get on that airplane.
He's a veteran. He knows how it works. Former 22-game winner with the San Francisco Giants, came up in that organization, and he will, at least at this point, the word is, be on the mound for Game 6 tomorrow in his biggest start. Either up 3-2 or down 3-2. With a potential rematch of Pedro Martinez and Roger Clemens in a Game 7 if there is one. Again, for tomorrow's game, just so you know, if the Cubs win tonight and wrap up the NLCS, tomorrow's game will be at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. If not, if that game ends up in favor of the Marlins and that series breathes on, the Yankees and Red Sox will be an afternoon game, and that's into center field. Giambi hit it hard, and it came back on Damon. He was able to knock it down and get it back in. It's a 1-out single.
Remember earlier we talked about how the infield shifted around, but Johnny Damon played Giambi a step into left center, and that ball took a funny hop on him, and the rains 2 days ago could have been responsible for that. It's still a bit wet in the outfield, not soggy like it was yesterday, but a bit wet. Good play by Damon.
Well, that ball was flat on one side when it headed out to center field as hard as Giambi hit it. Here's Bernie Williams. Williams 0 for 2. Check to swing, ball 1.
Slider, Lowe has only thrown 3 or 4.
They've all been the lefties.
Yeah, right.
Runner at first, Giambi. They play behind him, and Bernie Williams hits it to Millar and right through him. Giambi will turn and go to third. The throw by Nixon is late, and it's first and third, 1 out.
That's a ground ball made for a left-handed hitting or left-handed fielding first baseman. Because Millar's a right-handed thrower, he has to try to backhand the ball. It goes under his glove, a ball that could have been fielded, should have been fielded. It stayed down. Good base running by Giambi, who goes to third, and the throw by Nixon late.
Posada now after the error by Millar. It is E3, so a hit and error, first and third, 1 out, and Posada could add to the Yankee 5th inning lead. Good pitch for a strike on the inside corner. Posada's walked and scored and grounded out. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Longtime Major League umpire Joe West is behind the plate. One of those who resigned only to eventually get his job back. Hired back by baseball. working the plate and watching as Derek Lowe takes too long, so Posada opts out of there. Double play ball to Walker. To Garcia-Parra, inning over. Lowe and the Red Sox get what they need. It stays a 2-run game halfway through game number 5. David Wells so far has allowed a run on 3 hits. Double play's been turned behind him. Walk 1, struck out 2, hit a batter. Trot Nixon first up, hit by a pitch his first time, and this one's hard hit. And off Soriano. Nixon is on to start the inning.
Brett, the ball looked like it came up on him, hit the heel of the glove.
That's one of those where it's hit so hard you just kind of freeze. You don't have time to go in and get it, back up and get it. Sometimes it takes a little funky hop on you.
Looked like it hit his right hand before it even hit his glove.
An error. How about that?
And we appreciate Brooks Robinson being here to be the official scorer here this afternoon. 1 on, nobody out. Varitek takes the ball. Some tough errors. And then a couple of gift hits. Tying run up in the person of Varitek, who singled his first time. Good pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Curveball on the outside corner. Nice curveball from Wells.
On the inside corner, strike 2.
Wells diplomatic, as most catchers have to be, because they have to go back out there. That ball hitting the front corner. Posada caught it inside, but it looked like it had the front part of the plate.
Varitek set up at a ball and 2 strikes. The opposite way and foul.
Get the idea of what that inside fastball does to you. It flat foots hitters. You saw the Millar double play ball on the breaking ball at second base, and that swing by Varitek there, that is not the normal swing. But by going inside, watch this flat footed swing by Varitek. Makes good major league hitters look bad. Wasn't that pitch, but it was the pitch before that did that.
Just able to get a piece to stay up there.
What'll make you do that is David is really using both sides of the plate and not worrying about coming in, not worrying about that short porch in left field. I mean, he's willing to come in there. The Red Sox hitters know it, and you're going to be more vulnerable away when you know he's coming in consistently.
Jumping around and howling after fouling that ball off his left foot, ankle, or shin. I don't know. Still 1 and 2.
Unfortunately, catchers get used to those types of foul tips.
Mel Stottlemyre, the Yankees pitching coach, on your right. Posada and Wells dealing with Veritek. Quick pitch. Struck him out. 1 on, 1 out. Let's check in with Jeannie Zelasco back in Los Angeles.
Well, the way Sammy Sosa sees it, it's time to cubby up because tonight's the night. The Cubs 1 win away from their first trip to the World Series in Joe Buck's lifetime. That is coming up next as baseball's postseason continues on Fox. Game 6 of the ALCS. The Marlins trying to avoid elimination.
I'm sure the Marlins don't mind, on some level, everybody looking past them, needing only 2 more wins to get to the World Series. That is a tough, very good, and dangerous team.
You saw Posada go down with all 5 fingers. That was a throw over given from the bench. A couple of hitters ago, you saw Mel Stottlemyre going through the signs to the catcher, relayed to the pitcher about when to throw over. Kind of a flat hand that Posada put down there.
Johnny Damon, another throw over.
I don't know of any major league managers now that call pitches, but there are an awful lot of major league pitching coaches that call throwovers to first base and pitch outs. That's why Posada continues to look at Stottlemyre in the dugout.
Foul. Strike 1. Take a look at our WebMD health report for the Yankees. And this after game 3. Injured left hand for Kareem Garcia in that 9th inning fight. Was held out of the game yesterday and made the start, and he's made a big impact with a 2-out 2-run single, and Don Zimmer taken for observation but checked out okay on Saturday evening. Here comes an 0-1 to Damon. 0-2. You're looking at a guy in David Wells, part of this Yankee rotation. Wells has his contract situation with New York where the ball club holds the option. And if you consider Clemens is walking away, retiring at the end of the year, Andy Pettitte is a free agent. They don't know what they have in Weaver. Wells has already won once this postseason. Be tough to turn him loose. 0-2. Just inside, ball 1.
Yeah, they didn't know what they had with David Wells this spring when he came out with the book. Controversial book about his life, last decade in baseball. Made the Yankees mad. George Steinbrenner mad. Of course, George Steinbrenner was the one who took David Wells to lunch and signed him. And he has done a terrific job for the Yankees.
When that happened, it was pretty well assumed that Wells had worked out a deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Jerry Colangelo was upset after basically a verbal or handshake agreement that the Yankees, and George Steinbrenner in particular, swooped down and re-signed David Wells, who they traded to get Roger Clemens. One-two pitch to Damon. 1 on, 1 out. Next up, they're spoiling pitches. Still 1-2.
While Joe was telling that story, we had to look at the very young 36-year-old general manager of the Yankees, Brian Cashman. Of course, Theo Epstein of the Red Sox, only 28 years old. But Brian saying, reminded of that comment earlier this year. There's Theo. Brian saying every year with the Yankees should be counted as dog years. Seems like 7. I can well imagine.
Damon waits for another 1-2 pitch from Wells. Todd Walker, another lefty on deck. the middle. Soriano flips. What a play. 2 out. Right out of the glove to Jeter and a force out, 4-6.
One of those oh my goodness plays. Some play right there.
It's a great play. And he's feeling a lot better after missing that first one, you know.
Tough play for Jeter too. He doesn't know what route that ball's going to take.
Well, he just doesn't know whether he's going to flip it with the glove or put it in his hand and flip it to him. I'm sure he wasn't that worried though. He's good enough.
Pretty good hands. Huh?
Pretty good hands.
So now with a runner at first, Damon. Here's Todd Walker. Walker's lined out to first, flied out to left.
I would imagine Mel Stottlemyre would be a little busier giving signals to Posada with speed on at first base. Damon with 30 stolen bases this year in 35 tries.
It's the Red Sox big power guy at the plate. Come on. Take the bat out of his hands. Fastball for a strike. Yeah, you would think with Damon, the guy on at first, if the Red Sox are going to do any running, this would be the combination. Damon 30 of 35 during the regular season. And trying to steal. Walker with a base hit into right field. Damon will hold. And here's another chance for Nomar Garciaparra.
Todd Walker continues to remain hot. And with one swing of the bat, Nomar Garciaparra could erase a very poor LCS.
Came into game 1 of this ALCS as a .358 career hitter in the postseason. 0 for 1 this afternoon. No RBIs in October. Anxious with that swing. Strike 1.
In the last time up, Wells was throwing fastballs in and in. Starts him off with a curveball here. Nomar way out in front.
Big play by Posada as the runners hold at first and second on that pitch in the dirt. Good speed on. Damon and Walker for Garciaparra. Series tied 2-2. Yankees leading game 5, 3-1. Joe West does not appeal down to the first base umpire.
Joe Torre now up on the second step saying appeal. And he just appealed. Angel Hernandez said no swing.
So the count's 2-1. Three balls and a strike with Manny Ramirez on deck. And now Stottlemyre is going to come out and talk. A visit to the mound as Garciaparra, for a guy that's struggling, is in a good position in this at bat. Runners on at first and second, down by 2. A guy like Ramirez on deck, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike in his favor. Figures to get something to hit. At least Wells will try to give it to him.
Yeah, there's no way you pitch around Garciaparra. He was only walked intentionally once this year. You may walk him, but he's not trying to pitch around him in this position.
Bases loaded. 2 out. Manny Ramirez, who grew up in New York, had this to say at a press conference when he first came to the Boston Red Sox.
Me coming over here, you know, I'm going to try my best to help the team any way I can. And I'm just tired, you know, to seeing New York always win.
Well, he has an opportunity here in Game 5 with the bases loaded, 2 out, and his Red Sox down by 2. Homered his last time up. Good speed on with Damon, Walker, and Garciaparra. Left side for Boone. Gets it, goes to the bag. And the inning comes to a close. The Red Sox strand 3. They've left 6. We go to inning number 6, still 3-1 New York. Fox, this is Game 5 of this ALCS with the series tied 2-2. And you get the feeling that the Boston Red Sox just missed what might be their best chance to do some big damage. Manny Ramirez at the plate. A 1-0 pitch from Wells with the bases loaded, and he tapped out to third. And now Derek Lowe goes back to the hill. Matsui now, Nick Johnson and Aaron Boone will follow. It's 3-1 New York. 2 balls and a strike from Lowe.
Their best scoring opportunities tonight. Nomar Garciaparra hitting with runners on at second and third. He struck out. And then Ramirez with the bases loaded, 2 out. Topped 1 to third.
Perfect pitch from Lowe. It's 2-2. Inside, full count.
Well, Lowe wanted that one. You could see the disdain in his face when he turned completely around. That's that tailing fastball. Bill West said it was inside. Very close.
That's foul. The Red Sox in the bottom of this 6th inning will have Ortiz, Millar, and Miller. And you look at the 6th and 7th innings, guarantee down in that Red Sox dugout. They know that Mariano Rivera is available for 2 innings, and Rivera has been almost automatic. Hard hit with Walker to his right. Sucks it up and throws him out. 1 away.
Really the whole series, you know. Today, Lowe and David Wells both getting into some trouble and getting out. I think that's been the case all series.
That's
why we haven't seen much offense.
Yeah, just going to say, everybody waiting around for that big hit, and for the most part, it hasn't come.
The pitching's been the story, obviously, thus far, and these guys have just been doing a great job making the pitches when they need to make them.
Nick Johnson now, he's 0 for 1, intentionally walked and scored. Might be worth going through that 3-run second inning again. The Yankees put up after this 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike in that second. Bernie Williams led off, grounded out. Posada walked. Matsui grounded out on a hit and run. Runner at second, 2 out. After falling behind Johnson, the Red Sox intentionally passed him, but an infield hit by Boone loaded him up. Garcia, a 2-run hit. Soriano, a 2-out RBI hit. And it was 3-0. The only run for the Red Sox coming on a leadoff home run in the 4th inning by Manny Ramirez. Red Sox have hit into a double play and left 6. Another one for Walker. 2 out. Aaron Boone walks in. This loaded the bases as Miller backed up a bit on that play. Ruled a hit. And then this play backing up again, and the throw was wide. It was called an error. And now Aaron bats with the bases empty, 2 out, takes the ball. There's a strike. Actually, both were ruled base hits. Got a little conversation going up here in the booth, but for Aaron Boone, he'll take him any way he can get him. Both over to third base, and Bill Miller, usually a very reliable third baseman, not able to handle either one. Boone couldn't hold up in the hole 1 and 2.
In fairness, 2 ground balls that with that topspin forced Miller to back up. Aaron tried to hold up but couldn't.
Two and 2. Full count with Garcia next. Think of the job that Derek Lowe did in the division series. Had to come out of the bullpen, was a loser in game 1. Pitched 7 great innings in game 3, allowed an unearned run, and then saved game 5. And is a big reason why the Red Sox are even in a position to get by the Yankees. 3-2 pitch, a 2-out walk. So Aaron Boone on base for the 3rd time this afternoon and evening, and here comes Garcia.
Aaron Boone deceptively fast. He has 8 stolen bases without being caught this year. And with 2 out and Kareem Garcia up, possibility of a steal looms. It's very difficult for a catcher to throw when you're catching a sinker ball pitcher, because to be effective, the pitches have to be down, and throwing balls on the ground and on the dirt, it's very difficult to bring them back up to release it from your shoulder.
Boone running. They pitch out. Throw down, and what a play by Garcia Parra. Got it on the short hop and laid the tag on Boone. Red Sox guessed right. Nomar, a good play to end the top of the 6th. Ortiz set to lead it off for Boston. Mariano Rivera made his way out to the bullpen prior to this bottom of the 6th inning. Available for 2. The Yankees have the opportunity to use him in that type of a save situation. First pitch is down and in, ball 1 to David Ortiz. Ortiz, Millar, and Miller. David Wells 9-2 in his career in the postseason, turning in another good one. That's foul. Ortiz has a hit. He's flying to right. Took Wells deep twice in the same game in July at Yankee Stadium. Here's a 1-1. Shattered bat. Jeter was playing Ortiz perfectly. One away. In-game box score for the Red Sox is brought to you by AT&T. The only run for Boston so far, the home run by Manny Ramirez. Otherwise, Walker has a hit. Ortiz has a hit. Varitek has a hit. Here's Millar. Ball one.
David Ortiz finds his bat splintered by David Wells. Saw it off on the handle.
A 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike from Wells. The 40-year-old left-hander brings it. Millar fouls it, strike 2. Mike Messina frustrated after last night's loss, 0-3 in this postseason, and said all I can control is 60 feet 6 inches. The other guys have to do something with the bats. They didn't do enough. Millar strikes out. 2 out, and that's 4 strikeouts against 2 walks for Wells in this game.
David Wells going to the curveball. You see that unusual swing by Millar. Most guys who step toward third base do not have a lot of success because they're really, again, taking the barrel of the bat over the fat part of the plate, away from the fat part of the plate. But Millar is so strong that he can hit those mistakes. And here in Boston, with that monster out there, he hit it 25 times, or hit it over there 25 times this year.
Batter is Bill Miller. Took ball 1. The batting champ from the American League this season is 4 out of 34 for this postseason. And he hasn't driven in a run. Strike 2.
Bill has that brace on his left knee caused from sliding into the metal at Busch Stadium on a game that you did, Joe, a couple of years ago.
That was on Mother's Day.
Oh, boy.
And it was a nasty accident where he did everything right, but just happened to get his left knee wedged between a billboard and the dirt.
Fractured his patella, the kneecap on his left leg.
To the left side for Boone. 2 hops. Wells rolling. And we go into the 7th inning of Game 5. The Yankees got 3 runs in the second, still holding up. 3-1 back after this from your local Fox station. Loosen his body. The fans here at Fenway get an extra opportunity to boo Kareem Garcia. He was at the plate when Boone was thrown out trying to steal in the 6th. So he leads it off here in the 7th. Garcia, Soriano, and Jeter against Lowe. Ball 1 down and in. Garcia, the biggest hit for the Yankees. A 2-out, 2-run single up the middle in that 3-run second. Two and 0. No action right now for either side in their bullpen. I would imagine any hint of trouble for the Red Sox, they will get somebody throwing. Can't afford to fall any further behind. 2-1.
I think the one guy, if the Yankees do get base runners, the one guy to get up would be Alan Embry to face Jason Giambi, who's 4th up in this inning.
The 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Garcia. His season started at AAA Buffalo. Called up to the Indians, didn't hit much, and was traded to the Yankees, and here he is playing right field for the most part through this ALCS. 2-2 pitch from Lowe. Got him on the outside corner, 1 away. Major League Baseball is giving away World Series tickets for life and other great prizes. Winning hologram numbers will be announced during games 1 through 4 of this year's World Series on Fox. The Ultimate World Series Pass presented by Radio Shack. 3rd strikeout of the afternoon and evening for Derek Lowe, and here is Soriano. Ball 1.
Former general manager Dan Duquette traded for the battery you are seeing tonight. Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek coming to the Red Sox 4 years ago for Heathcliff Slocum. Finally got that out.
Slocum did not do much up there, and Seattle Mariners got rid of a guy who's about as tough, durable, and everyday catcher as there is. And a 20-game winner as a starter, and a guy who has over 40 saves in a season, Derek Lowe.
Heathcliff's golfing down in Florida. He lives right down the street from him.
2 balls and a strike from Lowe. There is the deal. Back at the trading deadline of 97.
Dan Duquette, meanwhile, during this hot and humid summer in New England.
Into left field, skied straight up into the air, and Manny Ramirez waits for out number 2.
Dan Duquette playing in what else but damn Yankees. Acting. Pittsfield, Mass. Wacona Park.
Derek Jeter walks in with 2 out, nobody on.
I guess Dan's saying, I'll show this regime that got rid of me.
And it was really an exchange and a war of words with Dan Duquette that drove Roger Clemens out of here.
Yeah, right.
Jeter tries to drop one down, and that's strike 1. Half a smile from Jeter as he comes back to the box.
Great song in that play, damn Yankees. You gotta have heart, and Red Sox fans have had heart for 85 years. Yankees, meanwhile, have won 26 world championships.
The 0-1 on the outside corner, 0-2. It'll be Nixon, Varitek, and Damon for the Red Sox in the bottom of this 7th. And see why Jeter was disappointed in that call. Derek Lowe with a hiccup in the 2nd inning. Otherwise, he has been strong here tonight. David Wells has been terrific. Miller will play at a foul ball. The series returns to Yankee Stadium tomorrow, either in the afternoon, same start time as today, be on the air at 4 o'clock Eastern. If the Cubs do not end the NLCS with a victory tonight, if they do, we'll be coming at you tomorrow night at 8 Eastern for Game 6 of this ALCS. And 0-2 to Jeter. Ball one. Game 6 of the NLCS. Mark Pryor and Carl Pavano will hook up right after this game at Wrigley.
Red Sox fans familiar with Carl Pavano. It was Carl Pavano who went to the Montreal Expos in the Pedro Martinez deal back in the winter of 1997.
And that's what's next on Fox. Game 6 starters, Mark Pryor, Pavano. First start. Another foul.
Oh, no!
A fantastic play by that guy.
Been interviewed already.
Now we know where Chris Myers is sitting. Jeter with a pretty good battle here against Lowe. Two out, bases empty, and Jeter gets another piece of it. Ho-hum, another October in postseason baseball in the life of Derek Jeter. Nothing new. Garciaparra to his left, stabs it, throws it, inning over. So here is the bottom of the 7th inning with a bottom 2 in the order coming up. Rivera lurking and looming for the 8th. A chance for the Red Sox. Down by 2. We move into the bottom of the 7th inning. And the scoring recap won't take long. The top of the 2nd inning as David Wells gets ready to work in the 7th. This infield hit by Boone loaded the bases. Kareem Garcia with a 2-out, 2-run single up the middle. Soriano goes the other way and makes it 3-0. David Wells has been terrific here so far tonight. Breaking bats, stranding 6, and with the bases loaded, down by 2, Manny Ramirez had a chance. 2 innings ago in the 5th and bounced out to 3rd, the force out. And here we are after a stretch. Contreras getting loose in the bullpen for New York. And Wells will deal with Nixon, Varitek, and Damon. Embry getting loose on one side, Contreras on the other. Nixon's been on base twice tonight. Doesn't have a hit. Hit by a pitch and reached on an error. Two and 0.
Wells missing twice with curveballs.
Both about in the same spot, high.
Three balls and a strike on Nixon.
Nixon with good power to left field. If you're Wells, you know he knows the fastball is coming, so you try to keep it away. Came inside.
And it's a full count.
Posada sets up inside. That is rare. We mentioned it a couple of times tonight. The pitcher is behind in the count, going inside to a hitter.
White, a lefty, joins Contreras. Wells comes back from a 3-0 count to strike out Nixon, one away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. This week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, Brett Favre and the Packers trying to rebound from a heartbreaking loss to Kansas City. They take on Mark Bulger and the high-flying Rams. Then the Buccaneers trying to win their second straight as they battle Terrell Owens and the 49ers. Or other regional action. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox. Big strikeout for Wells as he gets his 5th of the night. And Veritek, who has one of 4 Boston hits, stands in. Takes a ball.
Notice how he came back on Trot Nixon. We were talking earlier also about David Wells and his control. Remarkable that he walked only 20 batters all season.
Hard hit, diving stop by Jeter. High throw and out at first. As Nick Johnson applies the tag. And how many times has Jeter heard about his limited range and diving to his left? The bad left shoulder. Didn't show up on that play.
Terrific play by Jeter. Nice play by Johnson also, corralling the ball off the base and tagging Veritek charging down to first.
Wells appreciates that effort. With 2 out, nobody on. Here's Johnny Damon. A strike. Damon tonight is 0 for 3. Strike 2. Saw Rivera go through that door maybe to put on his cape.
Instead of a phone booth, huh?
Wells trying to get through 7. Red Sox trying to get something going here in the 7th. Damon backed up with a ball and 2 strikes. On the infield for Jeter. 7 strong from David Wells. We go to the 8th. Yankees still on top. 3-1. Part of the order for the Yankees here in the 8th inning. Giambi, Williams, and Posada. All of the Yankees runs coming in the 2nd. They played solid defense behind David Wells here this afternoon and into the evening as Derek Lowe misses with ball 1 to Giambi. And now it's Mariano Rivera getting loose for the Yankees out in their bullpen. On the outside corner, a ball and a strike.
David he did a great job tonight, if that was his last inning. And you see Mariano getting up, and bad for ball. It's not getting any easier.
Wells struck out 5, walked 2. So far he's allowed a run on 4 hits, and we'll see if he is indeed finished. Depending, I would imagine, on what the Yankees do here in the 8th. If Joe Torre could avoid it, he would love to not have to use Rivera for 2 innings with a game coming up potentially tomorrow afternoon.
That's an interesting point, because it's not tomorrow night, definitely. But only if the Cubs win tonight will these 2 teams meet at Yankee Stadium tomorrow night.
And as Joe was saying, I think if they do score a couple runs, it gives them the luxury of only using Rivera for 1 inning, and then tomorrow you have him available for 2.
Giambi waits for a 1-2 pitch. That's fouled on the line. Giambi has a hit. Line drive single into center back in the 5th inning. Only his 3rd hit in 16 trips to the plate in this series. The big bats will come to the plate again for the Red Sox before the end of this night. 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up in the bottom of the 8th. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Giambi.
I don't think you can think of either of these teams as superb defensive teams. Seattle Mariners, yes. And I'm not saying because Brett's here. Seattle, certainly. But the Yankees have made some superb plays tonight defensively.
Jeter with the latest play to help Wells. And that's out of play. Again, we talked about it early in the game. Grady Little saying, win or lose. Here in Game 5, John Burkett will be the Red Sox starter tomorrow at Yankee Stadium. Wearing the sweatshirt. The 2-2 delivery. Giambi takes ball 3. The other option would be, if they wanted to bring Pedro Martinez back on short rest, and then potentially bring Tim Wakefield out for the start in Game 7.
And as we said, that can only happen if Pedro goes to Grady Little and says, I'll pitch tomorrow night.
3-2 to Giambi leading off. Good at bat by the Yankee DH to work a walk to start this 8th inning. Let's look at some of these defensive plays. Nick Johnson. Hideki Matsui with a great jump on this ball with 2 on and 1 out at the time. The flip from the glove from Soriano to Jeter, and then Derek Jeter to his left to rob Varitek of a hit. In the bottom of the 7th, to the delight of David Wells. Now we'll have a pinch runner as DeLucci comes in. He runs for Giambi. Fourth walk handed out by Lowe. And here's Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams, a guy who has hit Derek Lowe well in the past. And it's interesting that with Alan Embry ready, Grady Little opts to leave Derek Lowe on the mound.
I was thinking that too, Joe. I think the reason that Lowe's still out there is because his ability to get the ground ball, his ability to get the double play.
To the right side, Millar fires to second, out. Good play by Millar to get the lead runner. And on at first is Williams, now 11 out of 34 in his career against Lowe. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question was, will Tim Wakefield pitch again in this series? 70% of you say yes. And I think you can probably add the three of us to that list. To answer the question, you got a chance to use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint. Here's Posada. Check on Williams. Posada 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Joe Torre telling us before game 1 that he would hit and run with Posada. 3 guys he would not hit and run with: Soriano, Giambi, and Bernie Williams.
This situation, though, I think they're going to let Posada swing the bat. The 3-1 lead. I don't think Joe wants to have him swing at something he doesn't want to swing at.
Count evens at a ball and a strike.
Yankees have done it with Matsui earlier in the game.
That was in that 3-run second inning. Kept at the plate by Veritek, 2 balls and a strike.
Well, if the Yankees are going to do it, this would be the count on which to do it. 2 balls and 1 strike, considered by most as the ideal hit and run count.
Wide to make it 3-1. Matsui on deck, so this could be the last hitter of the evening for Derek Lowe. Left-handed hitter, lefty Embry ready in the Boston bullpen. Red Sox have turned to double play tonight. Runner goes, base hit to right. Bernie Williams will turn and go to third. Posada gets his first hit of this game 5, and it's first and third, 1 out. And now Grady Little is coming out of the dugout, and he is already called for Alan Embry. So Derek Lowe will leave. Embry is coming in. Matsui is coming up. Yankees trying to add to a 3-1 8th inning lead. Embry out of that Boston bullpen, which has been really a strength for the Red Sox in this postseason. Embry's been a part of that. Last 18 innings pitched out there, including the division series, 1 run allowed, 6 hits, 21 strikeouts. And the lefty Matsui is up with runners at first and third and 1 out. Three to 1 Yankees, top of the 8th inning. Off Embry to third. Miller will look home, throw to first for the out. And it's 4-1 New York.
Bernie Williams had a terrific jump off of third base, and that's why he beat the play. That's a very, very important thing, is to get that lead off of third base, and now when it hits Embry in the leg, by the time Miller looks, it's too late to throw home. Only one place to go. Ernie Williams off with the crack of the bat. It hits Embry over to Miller. And the Yankees score another run.
1-5-3 on the putout. The RBI makes it a 3-run game again, and Nick Johnson bats with Posada the runner at second and 2 out. Pretty good rip by Nick Johnson on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. The Yankees have both Rivera and Contreras, 42 and 52, getting loose out in their bullpen. Typically, you would say, all right, 3-run lead, save situation. It's Rivera, but again, with a game coming up tomorrow, Joe Torre certainly has a decision to make. If he feels comfortable enough, leading by 3 at the moment, to bring Contreras in rather than Rivera for 6 outs. Right now, it's up to Embry to keep it a 3-run game. Ball 1 to Nick Johnson.
Rivera's last outing was on Saturday, and he only threw 18 pitches. So he's capable of going 2 innings tonight and an inning tomorrow easily.
Two and 2, pretty close.
I think you will certainly see Contreras if the Yankees score another run. But I don't know if they don't. If they have a 3-run lead. The primary thing is not to let this game get away.
Bronson Arroyo, a right-hander, getting ready for the Red Sox. Nice play by Veritek. Full count now after it was 0-2 on Nick Johnson.
Timmy, if you don't mind, I'm going to stay away from speculating.
Okay.
My percentages haven't been the highest.
It is an interesting decision, though, if it were to remain 4-1.
Well, both of them are still up.
So you would think it'd be Rivera.
Yeah. Base hit here, that all changes.
Runner at second, Posada 2 out. 3-2 pitch from Embry. Into left field, Manny Ramirez pulls it in. But the Yankees add to their lead. They get their first run since they scored 3 in the second. With a 2, 3, and 4 batters coming up in the bottom of the 8th, it's now 4-1 New York. Waiting for another opportunity to use Mariano Rivera for 2 innings, and he gets his chance here in the 8th inning of Game 5 with the Red Sox batting, trailing by 3.
Mariano turns 34 in November 29th. And the one thing that I think everybody around the American League and perhaps the nation, the baseball nation, and he's so impressive with that elegant gait of his, the way he walks. There's nobody that walks any easier or comes in from the bullpen with an easier gait than Rivera. And I think that is part of the reason for his success, because the ball just explodes out of his hand. Hitters just can't believe he can do that.
It's just an aura he's got about him.
Nice, easy, fluid delivery, and then bang. Strike 1 to Todd Walker. Garciaparra, Manny Ramirez will follow. That is hammered into right field. Well hit into the corner and off the base of the wall. Walker is going to scoot, go to third, and make it with a leadoff triple.
Todd Walker gets around on the cut fastball, in off the plate, looking for it all the way. Most left-handed hitters will pull that ball foul or break their bats. Walker with a triple.
He's been awfully good. I mean, he's been the guy for him. And he comes up big for him again to lead off this inning.
Now it's Garciaparra as this crowd climbs back into it. In case you're wondering, Rivera blew 2 saves against the Red Sox this season. And his last blown save in the postseason was Game 7 of the 2001 World Series in Arizona. 1 ball, 1 strike on Garciaparra.
That might be the best swing Garciaparra's had all night. Just misses this cutter.
To the right side, run scores. The Yankees get an out here in the 8th inning. An RBI ground out. And it's a 2-run game, 4-2 in the 8th. Manny Ramirez will walk in. Back in the 4th. First pitch from Wells. Until 20 seconds ago, the only run of the night for the Red Sox. For Nomar Garciaparra, he just picked up his first RBI in his last 12 postseason games. Not much of a swing at that pitch. It's 0-2.
That pitch was a foot outside.
For the Yankees, they scored an important run in the top half of this 8th. Made it a 3-run game. Now it's a 2-run game. Ball 1 from Rivera. Very defensive swings by Manny Ramirez here against Rivera.
Yeah, he's not coming close to those fastballs. He's missing them away. He cues this shot right off the end of the bat. Look at contact. Right into your living room.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Out. Our game summary is brought to you by Nissan. And again, it's another game falling right in line. A game that's featured tremendous pitching. David Wells, the starter for the Yankees. Lowe was solid for the Boston Red Sox. Kareem Garcia with that bases loaded single to drive home 2 with 2 out in the 2nd. That was followed by a 2-out hit by Soriano. And now with 2 out, nobody on, here's Ortiz. And there's strike 1. And Ortiz says enough to make Joe West, the home plate umpire, take his mask off. A shake of the head and a smile in frustration after dealing with Rivera from Manny Ramirez. The count is even at a ball and a strike.
You couldn't help but see the befuddlement on Ramirez's face in trying to hit Mariano Rivera. And he's got a lot of company in the American League.
The 1-1. Strike two.
It's just amazing. It's one pitch. It's one pitch, same speed. He almost tells you the location most of the time.
I think he's doing different too. Earlier in the year when we faced him, with Seattle faced him, he threw to the right-handers. He would also throw the front door cutter. What I mean by that is he'd start it at your body and break it over the inner half of the plate. He hasn't even messed around with that.
Big league hitters very rarely have trouble with one-speed pitchers. They throw a fastball the same speed. Big league hitters hit them.
Ortiz is on, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. A two-out hit by David Ortiz.
That's a fine at bat right there. That's a cutter that Rivera got right where he wanted. And credit Ortiz for a fine piece of hitting.
That'll bring in Millar, and it sends Posada out to the mound. Millar, 25 home runs during the regular season, none so far this postseason. Strike one. Millar is grounded out twice and struck out, but that was against Wells. One home run in his career against his right-hander Rivera.
See the name of Stephen King's next book, Rally Cap.
Two balls and a strike. A leadoff triple by Walker, scored, and the ground out by Garciaparra. Ramirez struck out. Ortiz single to center. Tying run at the plate, bottom of the eighth. Game 5, series tied. Jeter to his left. Flips, and we go to the 9th inning. The Red Sox come up with one. Strand one, have left 7 in this game. It's a 4-2 score back after. Bronson Arroyo takes over here in the top of the 9th inning. Third pitcher of the night for the Red Sox. Lowe started, went 7 1/3. Embry 2/3, all zeros. And now it's Arroyo. Trying to keep it 4-2 and dealing with Aaron Boone. Ball 1. One word that's often used to describe George Steinbrenner, the owner of the New York Yankees, is impulsive. The Christmas season 2001, he made an impulse buy by getting David Wells. Having dinner in Tampa, bringing back a friend / nemesis. They'd already signed Hitchcock. He wanted to bring him back. Wells has gone 34-14 since. He gets the nod in this game 5, and David Wells a big reason why the Yankees in the 9th inning lead 4-2. Aaron Boone strikes out, 1 out. Let's check in with Chris Myers.
Yeah, Joe, as this series shifts from Fenway south about 200 miles into Yankee Stadium, one of the most famous walls this side of the Great Wall of China, of course, the Green Monster now has Green Monster seats. It cost them about $4 million to put seats in and above that area. It seats about 400 if you include standing room, and they actually have bar stools up there. They say they're as popular as the on-field box seats, and the idea was to try and create a neighborhood atmosphere to watch the game, similar to the bleachers at Wrigley. And of course there still is that chance that the World Series could be in Fenway and Wrigley. Joe?
Chris, thanks. First pitch is a ball low and away. One thing they seem to have accomplished, at least in my opinion, is the way they put those seats on top of the Green Monster almost looks like they belong there. Like,
yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah, like it's been part of it the whole time. Kareem Garcia waits for a 1-1 pitch from Arroyo. Strike 2. In the bottom of the 9th inning against Rivera, it'll be Miller, Nixon, and Veritek. Understand they're chanting jailbird for Kareem Garcia after his involvement in that fight in the 9th inning on Saturday evening out in the bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On 2-2 with 1 out. Full count. A 1-out walk. Soriano coming up, then Jeter. Sauerbeck, a left-hander, getting loose for Boston with DeLucci now hitting in the number 3 spot. Soriano tonight has made a sparkling defensive play. He is 1 out of 4 at the plate, an RBI single in the 2nd. Good pitch for strike 1.
Part of our opening, Nomar Garciaparra and Alfonso Soriano. Both are now 2 for 19 in the ALCS.
And both in this game 5 finally pick up their first RBI. One ball, 1 strike.
Soriano had the type of April that you would have thought had MVP stamped on it. A 370 batter in April, 8 home runs. He has not played well offensively during the postseason.
Off balance, pops it up into center for Johnny Damon. 2 out. Depending on the outcome of tonight's NLCS Game 6, you'll be able to see Game 6 of this series tomorrow at either 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, or 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Then if there is a Game 7 between the Marlins and the Cubs, you'll be able to see it at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific right here on Fox. Sports' biggest month of the year continues tomorrow only on Fox. And again, if the Cubs fail to close out the Marlins tonight, their Game 7 will be tomorrow night here on Fox. The Cubs win behind Pryor tonight. Game 6 of this ALCS will happen at 8 Eastern right here at Yankee Stadium, but right here on your dial. Strike one on Jeter. Ball, one strike. This Boston Red Sox lineup is strong and solid throughout. That'll be apparent in the bottom of this ninth inning when, even though it's the bottom three in the order, it'll be the AL batting champ, Trot Nixon, who hit 28 home runs, and Veritek, who hit 25. Garciaparra flags it down and fires for the force out. Good play by Nomar to end the top of the ninth. And now with Rivera headed back to work. 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Red Sox. They trail by 2. This series will leave Boston after tonight. One of these two teams will have a 3-2 series advantage tomorrow when they hit the field at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox bat, bottom of the ninth, down by 2. Miller first up, takes a strike. Miller, then Nixon, then Veritek. Johnny Damon due up 4th in this inning. Rivera gave up a run in the 8th. Off the hand, strike 2. Miller has 2 hits and 4 career at-bats against Rivera. Longtime National Leaguer. Bill Miller. And he waits for an 0-2. Red Sox need a runner to have a chance. To the second baseman, Soriano. 1 away in the bottom of the ninth. Miller hitless tonight. 2 out of 17 in this ALCS. And Nixon has been hit by a pitch, reached on an error, and struck out. Bats with 1 out, nobody on here in the ninth inning.
And that's the thing. The Red Sox certainly need a runner, and you would think that the best way for them to get a runner would be a broken bat base hit. That's how you have to think against Rivera. And then perhaps have somebody catch one, something down and in like Damon. You just do not hit many balls off the fat part of the bat against this guy. You can't center the ball.
mph poured in for strike 1. Jam shot, Boone charging, 2 out. We look at LCS records since 1985. 15 of the 20 teams leading 3-2 went on to win the series, and the Yankees are 1 out away from gaining that advantage with the series going back to New York. John Burkett, Andy Pettitte. The pitching matchup, as we are told here tonight, in Game 6. Fastball for a strike to Veritek. Varitek pops it into shallow center. Tough play, might drop. Jeter with a sensational catch to end Game 5. The Yankees win it, a final of 4-2. That thing had base hit written all over it, and Jeter just made a very difficult play look easy.
Joe Torre has said since he took over the Yankees, the most important thing, pitching and defense. And the Yankees had that tonight.
So this series will return to the Bronx tomorrow, either in the late afternoon or tomorrow night, depending on what happens. The game coming your way next here on Fox. Game 6 of the NLCS, the Marlins and the Cubs. There's no travel day because of the rain out on Sunday night. So everybody will pull up the stakes and move this show to New York. And the Yankees come into Fenway Park and take 2 of the 3 games played. And again, it's a matchup of Andy Pettitte, who has been very good this postseason, against John Burkett. It's the plan going into this game. The pitching matchup for tomorrow. So while we talk here in the booth, down on the field, a lot of action on the Yankees side, and standing by is Chris Myers.
Thanks, Joe. I'm down on the field with Derek Jeter. Of course, David Wells in the clubhouse. Big game pitcher for you guys, 10-2 in his career in the postseason. Talk about the kind of confidence you have when he takes the mound in games like this.
Seems like it's like that for all our pitchers. I mean, they really stepped up when we needed them most, especially Boomer. I mean, he's hurt a little bit, but he still goes out there and does a great job.
Yeah, and tonight there were a couple of tough spots, obviously. You got Garcia Parra. He struck him out with runners at second and third on the bases loaded situation. Ramirez, what looked like was working best for Wells?
Well, those are 2 of the last guys you want to see up there in the American League, but he was mixing it up pretty well. His fastball, his curveball was outstanding. He's mixing in some changeups, but the thing with Boomer is he goes right at you, and today he had some good stuff.
How would you describe, Derek, this series so far? It's always interesting, Yankees, Red Sox, but the games that we've had, it seems like things have settled down a bit.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say settle down. Maybe everyone running on the field, but these games are always exciting, and we enjoy it. And right now we're heading home. We're feeling pretty good.
Do you feel like the Yankees have it more under control?
Yeah. I mean, what can you say? We're trying to get wins. That's what our focus is.
You're 1 win away.
And we take it day by day. So we never get overconfident. We go out there. We got Pettitte pitching tomorrow.
Is it a little different? You're not sure whether you're going to play an afternoon game or an evening game at this point at Yankee Stadium, and it's Burkett against Andy Pettitte. What do you expect?
Really, I didn't even know that. I just assumed we were playing tomorrow night, but it doesn't really make a difference. Whatever time it is, it's the same time for both teams. But Andy's been pitching well for us, especially in big game situations, and hopefully he can do it again.
All right, thanks a lot, Derek. All right, the Yankees are 1 win away from advancing to the World Series. Let's go back up to Joe.
All right, Chris, thanks, and thanks for being with us here at Fenway Park. The series here in Boston is finished. Back to New York and the Bronx. A final of 4-2 in Game 5. Well, a 4-2 win for the New York Yankees here in Game 5. And now it's off to the Bronx. The coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox and the producer of today's game, Michael Weissman. The director is Bill Webb. As always, Steve Horn assisting us here in the booth. Tape producer is Aaron Stoikov, the associate director, Kathy Hunt, and the broadcast associates, Eric Billigmeyer and David Duvall. The VP of Field Operations, Jerry Steinberg, and our technical producer is Dave Hill. Wells the winner. He steps up big again for the Yankees. Now 2-0 in this postseason. Rivera gets the save, his 29th in his postseason career. Final score 4-2 New York. For more information on today's game and the latest in Major League Baseball news, log on to foxsports.com. For Tim and Brett, Chris, I'm Joe. 4-2 Yankees on to New York in this series. Jeannie Zelasco and Kevin Kennedy will be along after these words.